Yeah, just chill. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Angry Dave podcast. This is Dave. My next guest is my friend, my coworker, my former high school compadre, Billy D. Bill, introduce yourself.
My world, I am Billy D.
Bill, we known each other. I don't know when did you come to Gamp? What year?
87.
So I guess we known each other since 1987. You came in fifth grade too,
Mr. D.
Mr. D. Yeah, right. And you graduated in '95. I graduated in '94.
Mhm.
We were both athletes in a music school.
That's a special situation there.
It's a special situation. I don't think you have any angry Dave stories, do you? Not really.
I do not have one, and I try to dig in. Even try to draw on work.
Yeah.
No,
No, not really, right?
nah.
What do you remember me as being? Do you remember anything about me from high school?
I remember you always being funny
Yeah.
and definitely having a different take on things.
Yeah. That hasn't changed, I guess.
No, not at all.
Uh,
Not at all. Dave, you've always been like one of the smartest guys around too. And when you combine that with like your South Philly sharp, sarcastic sense of humor,
yeah.
and being jaded at a young age like we were,
Yeah.
m- great, great sharp comebacks.
Yeah. I always remember you saying crazy shit in choir.
Oh yeah, it was showtime.
So,
I didn't want any solos when it was time to sing,
yeah.
but I wanted my voice heard behind the scenes.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that I remember us all doing, and I don't know if it was you or Spady who decided to do it, but it was one of the two of you that we were all in the bass section. We decided we weren't going to sing that day. Yeah. So there was like 20 of us that all decided that we were going to mouth the words and not sing.
Lip sync, definitely lip sync, and just leave out the whole bass center section.
That Member Jackson car is so mad, so mad.
Beat red face.
Oh god! Shout out to Jack Carr. You got very angry at the times.
Oh man, but listen, I love him
Yeah,
this day. I didn't like him then,
yeah,
and I don't think he liked me.
yeah. He didn't like me either.
But he he, I called in a favor one day, and he
Yeah.
pulled some strings and got my daughter in the camp.
No, listen, I appreciate it. He loved the school. He was all about it. I
Mhm.
appreciate any educator that takes
Def-
himself seriously.
definitely.
All right, let's talk about you. You were born in what, 1977?
I came in the game with Luke Skywalker.
1977.
Yes, 77. I came in the game with Star Wars.
And you were born where? You were South Philly too?
No, I was uptown, Mount Airy, Germantown. We lived up there for about 4 or 5 years, couple places.
Yeah,
Last place I remember, well, which is basically the first place that I can recall,
yeah,
Williams Avenue, somewhere up Mount Airy. And
yeah,
then we moved to South Philly in 182. And that's where we moved to South Philly, 18th and more. We had this three-level apartment
yeah,
where we had the top two floors. That was probably one of the best houses that I ever lived
yeah,
in terms of row house, South
right.
Philly period.
Yeah,
We had the top two floors. The back room kind of looked like a dance room. It was hardwood floors, and the whole wall was all mirrors. So
uh,
my sister, she would think she was Mary Lou Retton, not Mary Lou Retton, but one of those skaters.
yeah,
She would skate all around the hardwood floors when nobody's home, and when my dad or my mom came home, then she was in trouble. But she was definitely going to go for what she knew
yeah,
because she went to St. Charles to go skating every Friday night.
yeah,
So she had to practice in that living room.
yeah.
But yeah, but it was a great house. And then we had on the first floor was my two aunts and my cousin. So we had a whole like a
The whole family.
family house. It
Uh,
was a beautiful thing.
How many brothers and sisters you have?
All right, so I have Shad, Sean, Linda, Saudia. Yeah, it's a few of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my sisters, we share a birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, two only two Geminis in the family.
Yeah.
Me and her, we are June 8th.
And did you all guys grow up together in that same house?
Did not,
Okay.
did not. Papa was Rolling Stone.
Babu was a
He got
rolling stone.
around.
Yeah. How about your mom? So you grew up with your mom.
My mom grew up with my dad for a little while too, till I
Yeah.
was maybe 10 or 11. Then, they went their separate ways.
Yeah.
But it was me, my brother Shad, and my sister Robin,
Okay.
and occasionally Sean.
Okay. Yeah. And how about like your first memory from childhood? You got one of those?
First memory from childhood.
Yeah.
All right, so got a few of them, but
Yeah.
all right, take this how you want to take it.
Yeah.
I think it's a complex, but I'm not gonna get into it. But I was at a wedding
Yeah.
with my mom,
Okay.
and my dad was there, and he was holding me up, and my mom looked so pretty. She was always gorgeous. She was
Yeah.
always beautiful. That was my first crush,
Yeah.
and she was up there, and I'm like, I know I'm at a wedding. I don't
Yeah.
know what a wedding is, but I know people getting married.
Right.
And when I saw my mom all the way up front, I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah. I'm not giving her away, right?
I'm not
Yeah.
giving away my dad,
Yeah.
but I'm not putting everything together.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing my mom all the way up there. This is a wedding.
Yeah.
My dad's holding me up so I can see her, but I'm like, I scream out. It was one of those where you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
I want to marry mommy.
That's awesome.
Then everybody turned around and looked at, and then they did exactly that. They were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that's adorable.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely." And I think maybe from then they probably started banning kids from weddings.
Right.
Probably started right there.
Right. That was a minute.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
How
But
about, yeah, I'm sorry.
no,
Yeah.
she was just definitely in the wedding. She was just part of the bridal party, but I wasn't sophisticated for it.
Were you a mama's boy growing up? How
I,
were
w-
you?
I was heavy mama, but I was definitely daddy too.
Okay.
I was both. It was nuclear for a while. Wow. Although they never married,
Yeah.
but it was still nuclear,
Right.
and because you know what you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah.
So
The
yeah,
certificate don't mean much.
all it is. It's a
Yeah.
piece of paper.
Tell me about growing up at 18th and Moore. Is that where you spent most of your time?
Nah, so we stayed there for about a year and a half, 2 years, then moved a block.
Okay.
So we went from 18th and more to 19th and more.
Got it.
And that block, I'm telling you, man, that block is one of a kind. There was everything on that block.
Yeah.
You didn't have to leave the block for anything, but if you did, you can come and go on both corners. You can go downtown on the 17, come back from downtown on the 17.
Right.
And the 17 it'll get you anywhere you need to go.
Yeah.
But
And for anybody that doesn't know, 17, Bill's talking about a bus route 17. Yeah.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
yeah. So on one end of the block, you had a laundromat,
Yeah.
and then you had a body shop, not a body shop, but like an impromptu hood shop across the street.
Yeah.
Church on that same corner that the shop was on.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Right.
Right. So, but then on the other end of the block, you had a chiropractor on the corner, on one corner.
Yeah.
We definitely had mailboxes. You don't even see those anymore
Yeah.
these days.
Do not.
No, and we also had Chaconis. Chaconis is the beer distributor. So
Right. Is that still there, right?
Chaconis is not going anywhere
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
no time soon. If you got to play your lottery, if you got to get your beer, you whatever your thing is, it's there at Chaconis. Then we got the best corner store
Yeah.
with hot food. We got the Woo.
Uh-huh.
People need to look. Everybody from South Philly knows about the Woo. I'm gonna have to bring you into the loop if you don't know about the Woo.
Give me it.
The Woo, you go to the Woo and get Kev is gonna hook you up with anything that you need, not Chinese food, but he's an Asian restaurant owner.
Right.
So it's American food,
Right.
chicken, chicken wings, gizzards. Nobody eats gizzards, but I'm just saying his
They have it.
menu is that varied.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely. But my go-to is the chicken breast hoagie all day and cheese fries.
He's still there.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
But all right, so my homie, right? So
Yeah.
his mom, rest in peace, Miss Cleo, she was the block captain.
Okay.
So and she did not want the Woo coming onto the block.
Right.
Not at all. She went around from door to door. And Miss Cleo, she was a firecracker. The whole South Philly, everybody knows Miss Cleo because she was just that person.
Yeah.
block captain of block captains of
Right.
block captains,
Yeah.
just very active in the community.
Yeah.
And so she knew some of the things that could come with the corner store.
Yeah.
The people that it's not the corner store itself,
Right.
it's the people that's going to stand outside
Right.
and hustle and do all the things that is going to make the neighborhood go in the wrong direction.
Right.
So she petitioned and she fought, she fought, she fought, she fought. She didn't get a lot of support. The woo is there to this day. And I'm glad this probably the one time that Miss Cleo, when she put her foot down, it didn't go in the direction that she
Right.
wanted, because I
It's a great.
this gut probably got if you
If you can see the gut,
if
it's
you
a
can see
little.
the gut,
It's a little bit.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not that bad,
Owe
buddy.
that to the woo part of
So,
it anyway.
what were the kids like growing up? With like friends in the neighborhood? What was it like?
Man, I had everything from kids of hustlers, boosters.
Yeah.
A lot of my homies, their families were part of the life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to get to the dollar one
Yeah.
way or another.
Right.
So it came a lot of different ways. But a lot of my friends, all great people, a lot come from nuclear homes, and some come from not nuclear home.
Right.
The common denominator is the neighborhood that we live in, and it is we all had the same kind of struggle.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just try to get out of the neighborhood
Yeah.
and move on and just broaden your horizons. But I do have some friends that think South Philly is where it's at
Yeah.
and will never go to another state,
Right.
another city, don't even want to travel.
Yeah. You don't even want to leave the neighborhood.
No,
Yeah.
not even interested.
And not even that section of the neighborhood.
No,
Right. Yeah.
not at all. But I mean, you got some that'll expand in Southwest is the new South Philly, because everybody that from South Philly seems like we go straight Southwest,
Yeah.
then broaden out from there. But Southwest is the first destination after you leave South Philly.
The neighborhood that I grew up in was mostly Italian Catholic.
Hmm.
And the neighborhood you grew up with was just a couple blocks north, mostly African American. Is that?
Mostly, but you had everybody. You
Yeah.
had Puerto Rican, Cambodian, just everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And there were still some white people in that neighborhood too as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely right.
for the first 4 or 5 years that I lived in the house that we lived in, Rita and Pagliato.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the mail that was coming there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And the Publishers Clearinghouse, I'm like, yes, we gonna hit.
That's what. But the common denominator is a poor working class neighborhood. Is that what you?
Struggling, grimy,
Yeah.
grimy, but you don't know that you're poor
Of course. Right.
when you're young. You're just having such a great time, such a great time. And I had a ball. I wouldn't trade my childhood for the world.
Playing out on the street. Kids playing out on the street.
Playing out on the street, making nunchucks out of broomstick handles,
Yeah. Yeah.
making switchblades out of popsicle sticks with rubber bands.
Yeah.
Why are we making weapons?
Yeah.
I don't know now that I think about it in
Yeah.
retrospect. But yeah, like the imagination that we had, and the fun times that we had without spending a dime. And now Netflix is $30 a month.
Yeah. Right. Everything costs money.
Everything.
Yeah.
Going outside costs me money every time I go outside.
And our kids, nobody plays a street game anymore.
What?
That doesn't exist, right?
Nah.
So what were you like? What was Bill like as like a middle school?
Middle school, ooh, man. Ooh, I'm gonna take it there real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so my daughter got it honest. She loves Godfather.
Yeah.
I love Godfather to death. Fifth grade, man, I did something I had no business doing,
Yeah.
but I learned from it after it.
Yeah.
Yo, I love Godfather so much, right? I let my hair grow a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I had the little black comb, the picture day comb that said unbreakable,
Yeah.
combed my hair backwards. To this day, my mom, my sister, they all like, yo, we just know you was going through a thing. We did not say anything to you. And I'm like, yo, why didn't y'all say anything to me? My hair wasn't meant to do that.
You were trying to hide over your hair. That's
Yo,
amazing.
yo. None of my homies ever killed me about it either. They
Really?
just rock with me. And
That's amazing.
we were heavy handed.
Yeah. Right.
We let each other have it.
Yeah.
Pure, unadulterated roast sessions.
Yeah. Right.
And no one ever said a thing.
They just let you go, huh?
Man, they used to kill me about my toilet not flushing, but not kill me about my hair. Man, what?
You tried an Italian boy your hair.
Yo, like this. Listen, I was Fonzarelli. Hey,
How long did that go on for?
just a couple
All
semesters.
right, good. All right.
Just a couple
And
semesters.
how old were you about then?
No, that was fifth grade. I
Oh,
was
fifth grade.
10.
Oh, 10 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I came up out of that kind of quick, and I, I went from combing it to boxing it.
Yeah.
Got the pick and just started boxing it.
Boxing it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Yeah, I went with the high top fade for a really long time. My kid and play.
Kid play.
You remember my kid and play. I didn't know what the hell I was either. So
And now it's curly play.
the curly play. You were decent in school. Did you get in a lot of trouble, anything like that, in middle school?
Not really. I had good behavior. I
Yeah,
didn't have the best of grades because I just wasn't focused.
yeah,
I was just so busy looking at girls, trying to be the class clown. I
yeah,
just couldn't, and I was so focused on not being a nerd.
yeah.
That
Me
was,
too.
ugh.
Yeah,
I wish. I mean, in retrospect, if I could do it all over again, I would definitely apply myself
yeah,
and wouldn't care about walking to school with a basketball under one arm and the violin under the other.
right.
I would have kept the violin, and I'm not gonna say I would have put the basketball down, but I definitely would have embraced both of them.
Yeah, yeah. I had the same problem, same exact problem.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be the cool guy.
Mm.
I always wanted to be in those plays and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we had so many of those opportunities, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I would have been good, but I couldn't let myself be vulnerable like that.
Yeah, like what is that about? I mean, I know ultimately it's ego
Yeah,
and pride and things like that,
yeah,
but like, what is that really about? Like at a young age, we're supposed to be naked
yeah.
and okay with it because we just came out of that phase.
Right.
So we should be able to transfer that to the early teens and the pre-adults and things of that nature. But no, I don't want Bree seeing me vulnerable.
Yeah, right. Right, yeah. It's part of the way we grew up though, don't you think? Because we had to be felt like we had to be men early.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. No doubt in my mind. I didn't even think about that connection, but yeah,
Right.
definitely.
It's hard, you couldn't be vulnerable, you couldn't be a sissy, right? Like that was the worst thing in the world if somebody called you gay back then. I mean, that's the truth, right? I mean, that's just the truth.
Are we using soft language tonight?
No,
Because
no,
that's
no, no.
not what.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah. It was,
Stop being such a faggot.
yeah, right. I
I,
mean, right.
and that was the you just did not want to be called that. You
Yeah.
did not want to be called that.
And again, we're not condoning it. We're just saying the way it was. That's
No,
all.
but no, but that
Yeah.
was the time. That's a snapshot of the time. We can't erase
Right. What it was.
what it was. I mean,
Right.
that's was the word that you were running from,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to be called that or a bitch or something like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, at the root of that, you couldn't be soft. Can't be soft because that means you're gonna be taken advantage of.
Right. And anything that made you look soft, like being a musician or clarinet, for me, carrying a clarinet
Hmm.
or, being in a play.
Being in the play, wearing pink, wearing
Oh,
something too tight, like
yeah. I mean, not having the right sneakers, for Christ's
right
sakes.
sneakers.
Yeah.
It's a broad scope. It
Yeah.
was a broad scope, and this city, for it to be of brotherly love, we hate everything and everybody
On each other all the time.
all the time, all
You,
the time.
you just and when we grew up, you needed to have thick skin. If you didn't, you
Mm-mm.
had some trouble, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you sank or swim pretty quickly. I mean, it's just the way it was.
Pretty much, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
a lot of sinking, but if you make it out of here, like that, you hear it all the time. People say it in New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. I think this is even more indicative of that because it may seem like a big city, but
Yeah.
but the resources they're not always there.
Yeah.
It's, and it's a lot of haters, a lot of haters. You will have more people saying bad things about you than good.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Any like really great memories from middle school? Your best memory?
Going to Lake Herf every year.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of my year every year. Like we worked hard through. every single academic program that we had, the music that we had to deal with. We had choir four times,
Yeah,
4 periods a week,
4 periods a week.
because it was like a double period
Yep.
one day and a double period another day.
And then we have music theory 2 other days a week.
Did the other days
Yeah,
on top of the academic workload that they were looking for, the book reports and the volcanoes you had to make and all.
yeah,
Like it was a huge academic load. So
yeah,
then the concerts, preparing for the concerts, the District 2 things, the
yeah,
all city things, and this. God forbid you be playing sports and doing these things and
yeah,
having to deal with the politics of
yeah,
Jack
yeah,
and that side
yeah. The
versus
music side versus the sports side.
the sports side.
It was always a battle.
But once you get through all of that, you get through the Scantron tests, and you get through Miss Leo.
Oh, Miss Leo.
Miss Leo pulling you to the side because you're talking too much,
Yeah,
or just killing somebody too bad, roasting somebody too bad. You weather the storm of the whole school year and then get to Lake Herf. Lake Herf, you get to let it all hang out. You get to see legs.
yeah. You get to see the girls in
Yes,
bathing suits.
yes. The
Oh, it was
curves that we
amazing.
were.
Yeah,
Get to play basketball.
yeah,
Get to play baseball. Hang out. Play football.
yeah. It was a great time.
Lake Herf was amazing. That was the thing.
Yeah. All right, high school. What was Bill like in high school? How would you have described yourself?
Ah, he had finally found out who he was at the time. He was stretching himself out, stretching his legs out, stretching his limits, learning his voice.
Yeah,
He he had just put away the violin.
yeah,
He had just started cutting his hair,
yeah,
becoming his own barber.
yeah,
Just started gambling, starting to buy his own clothes, starting to smell himself a little bit, get a little facial hair, trying to get the sideburns a little bit long, get the mustache,
yeah,
voice changing, no
yeah,
longer a cambiata. Cambiata was what they referred to as the changing of the
yeah.
voice, from going from alto to baritone
Right,
as a boy to a man. It was
right.
it was it was a progression.
So sometimes you would have this nice deep voice, and then all of a sudden some like squeak would come out.
That little crack.
Fucking and listen, that happens to every boy at 13, 14 years old, but
Hmm.
it's particularly excruciating when you're in a music school and you can no longer match pitch because you have no idea what's coming out of your mouth.
No idea.
Your eighth grade, eighth, ninth grade man was fucking miserable. I'll never forget. Like I'm in the top music theory class because like I'm good at it,
Hmm.
but I could not. Solfeggio is what it was called.
Hmm.
You have to sing like do re mi's, right? And I could not match pitch to
No,
save my life. Dude, there's still
bro.
some people that I would go to school with back then that remember how bad it was for me.
Oh wow.
Right. And they were like, how'd you get in the camp? You couldn't sing. I'm like, motherfucker, I was in eighth grade.
Why are you second guessing me now?
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking 20 years later. Fuck you. What are you doing? I got a law degree. Go fuck yourself.
Hater.
Yeah.
This gracious.
Yeah, I had the. It's probably 10 years, but you know how I am. I don't lose anybody that like makes fun of me a little bit. I
No.
remember forever, but
They're all gonna laugh at you.
yes, I couldn't match pitch. I was in eighth grade. My fucking voice was changing. It was miserable,
All right.
miserable. God
Give me
damn.
a break. Cut a 13-year-old a break. Gotta be kidding me.
But you played basketball in high school?
Definitely played basketball all 4 years.
Yeah,
Actually, Cratch,
our coach.
our coach Cratch, Art Cratchman. I owe a lot to him about teaching me the game. I didn't know. I knew how to play basketball. I knew how to dribble the basketball and I knew the rules, but I didn't learn the game until I was under his thumb. And
Yeah,
he took my game from just a pure athletic and trying to dribble and be fancy aspect to the total game. I learned position 1 through 5,
yeah,
and because I learned that, it just I'm not going to say I got paid from it,
yeah,
but it helps me see the game way better. And
yeah,
it just he just did a lot for me. So I
yeah,
definitely played all 4 years. He made me a manager in the eighth grade because he I think he was grooming me to bring me into the fold. So I got to see
yeah.
Tom and Dave get busy as freshmen
Yep.
when we used to play at Marion Anderson, and
Yeah.
he was running circles around these dudes. He was the
Yeah.
stuff that I saw him do as a freshman. I'm like, yo, I was so impressed
Yeah.
because I just got finished playing with Tom,
Yeah.
and because me and Tom used to play. He used to come from 28th Street. We played at this place called Dixon House
Yep.
on 20th and Mifflin. So it was a CYO Power League, and we would have our team versus other teams from other neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
and I thought we were good. We were the
Yeah.
Pistons. I had Isaiah Thomas jersey. I had number 11,
Yeah.
powder blue Pistons T-shirt. That was my jersey.
Yeah.
And then when Tom and them came in wearing red,
Ooh.
and they were
Ooh.
I don't even know if they had a name, but they bust our ass.
Yeah.
And
Well.
it was him, and I want to say Abdul Taylor, rest in peace.
Yeah.
They were in the same team, and they were just
Just
it.
good.
It just felt like we were the Washington Generals,
Yeah. Men amongst boys, right?
man amongst boys. They was doing stuff, and they had left hand. Like we didn't have nobody with a
Yeah.
left hand on our team,
Yeah.
and he was a lefty, and he was bigger than everybody, but he was faster, stronger, bigger, better. Like he was the $6 million man right there, and he just gave us the business. There was nothing that we could do with Tom, and
Yeah.
so I fast forward to ninth grade and seeing him doing that, doing the things that he was doing in ninth grade, to big time teams.
Yeah.
Like he got busy with Gratz. He
Yeah.
got busy against a lot of good teams,
Right.
and I'm like, yo,
And he wasn't a big dude. He was a quintessential, point guard. I mean, he was maybe 5'10", but he could jump out of the building.
jump out of the building fast, and he was a lefty.
He was a lefty. Yeah. Well, I was going to come out for basketball. I wound up being a manager all 4 years too, but Tom demoralized me. So I, there was only
Don't feel bad.
there was only one position I was going to play, and I wasn't going to play it over him. So I just went on a camera for 4 years.
Hey, but you still had the best. You had the best seat in the house. You
Yeah, I
saw
did.
everything,
I
man.
did.
You
Yeah,
saw the good and the bad
and a
and the
bad.
ugly.
Yeah. So but Bill's talking about two guys that play basketball on our team in those years, graduated with me in '94. That I still say this to this day. If they were at a big time school, they would have been 100% D1 players.
Yeah,
Tom was an all honorable mention All American at a very small school.
tiny.
And Dave is the other one who deserved just as much. Really, he's another one who was like 6'3", playing basically power forward against these
Yeah,
fucking huge dudes, and average. He had 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds in high school.
and that right there, not many people can say that
I think at the time he was the second or third person in the history of Philadelphia Public League to do it,
at such a small school.
and the other guy was Will
Was
Chamberlain,
Wilt?
and it might have been like one other dude,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
just incredible athletes. I don't know if you were there that time, but we went down. We were like seniors in high school. We went down to play. I think the juniors or sophomores. Nobody showed up. We were going to play
Hmm.
football against the younger guys. Nobody.
That would be me.
That would be you. I don't know if you were there or not, but hardly anybody showed up. So
Hmm.
we wind up playing Southern's football team in football.
Oh no, where
And
did y'all? Where?
at Southern's Field, they were down there practicing, right?
Hmm.
We showed up to play like the younger kids in
Yeah.
like a pickup tackle football game.
Hmm.
The younger kids didn't show up. We did. We fucking demoralized Southern's football team.
Wow.
We demoralized because we had Tom and Dave, and then I mean,
Hmm.
some of it, I was an okay athlete, but they were so good. Dave could throw the ball 70 yards. It was unbelievable.
Dave he was an unreal specimen. 6'3".
Yeah,
His calves
yeah,
belonged on a bull.
yep,
He could jump out of building.
yeah,
I mean, jump out the gym. But his arm,
yeah.
I never saw anything like it. He was
Super fast,
super
both of them.
fast. But his arm was unreal. And
You're
I was
talking both guys probably, and Tom was faster, but both guys sub 4.5 40s, no question.
Tom was faster than Dave.
Yeah, Tom was faster, a little bit faster than Dave. Dave was more like long distance runner. He would have killed him, but
Hmm.
Tom short those like 40, 50 yard. It was a little bit faster,
Hmm.
not much faster,
Yeah.
but though both of those guys, like exceptional speed, like
All
world class speed.
world class, definitely. And Dave was definitely a world class athlete.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Lawson, Division 1 basketball player,
Mm-hmm.
crushed him.
Mm-hmm.
Crushed him. Had like 20 boards against him. I'm never ever. Dave's 6'3". Jason Lawson's a 6'8" D1 prospect, and he fucked
Villanova
at Villanova, and he fucking owned him.
owned him. Dave got busy on Meatball that year too.
Yeah,
Or not?
Farhan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he definitely got. No, I'm sorry, Tyrone Weeks.
Tyrone Weeks. Yep.
That same year. I saw him. I saw Dave destroy Alonzo Triplin. Alonzo Triplin was a name back then. I think he played at Albany.
Yeah,
Dave had something for everybody.
he did.
Everybody.
FLC was ranked like number 2 in the country at the time, and we were beating him with 10 seconds left in the game.
Why? Why were he in that? And I was playing. I want to say like the 3 or the 4.
Yep.
I'm 5'10".
We had no business being in the game. We had no business. We almost beat them, and it was legit. I don't want to blame anybody. I'm not going to mention their name. Couple turnovers late in the game. Oh, God bless you guys.
Whose name shall not be mentioned.
He has no name. But you had a good time in high school, right?
Oh, I loved high school. I wouldn't trade my high school experience for the world
Yeah.
either. I had so much fun in high school, and I did not have one drink of alcohol,
Yeah.
and not I have not puffed one cigarette and never rolled one J,
Yeah.
never twisted one Dutch, nothing in high school. I was as straight shooter as they came in high school.
Yeah.
After it's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but during high school, definitely sober and had a ball.
But like you said, there's a lot of shit going on in your neighborhood. If you wanted to get into anything, you could have got into it. Why not
I
though?
didn't even have to leave the block.
Right.
I told you everything was on the block. I could have
Right.
got syrup. I could have got weed. I could have got the other things. I
Right.
could have got the harder things.
Yeah.
There was nothing that wasn't available
Yeah. Within walking distance. Yeah.
within walking distance,
Yeah.
and keeping it away from parents' distance too,
Right.
which
Why?
is kind
So
of crazy too.
what kept Bill out of trouble? Why not?
My dad would kick my ass. He would definitely kick my ass, and I also had something in me that just no,
Right.
just no, nah, I'm good.
You want it to be different?
No, I just didn't. I just
Yeah.
had zero interest.
Just got
Had
you.
zero interest. It just it didn't appeal to me.
So that
And none of my homies was into it either too.
good.
So,
Right.
that kind of helped you, like your influences,
Yeah.
your sphere, everybody in your orbit. If they're not into it, chances are you're not gonna be into it either.
So dad wasn't in the house, but he was always a part of your life.
He was there. He was there up until he wasn't, and then when he rolled, he still had his thumb on the pulse of the house.
Yeah.
But and then after a few years, he got further and further away. So,
Okay.
and when he was getting further away, I was starting to get hair on my top lip, and then
Yeah.
started smelling myself.
Gotcha.
So, it would then I became the man of the house,
Yep.
because it was my sister at a certain point, she had children, so she moved out.
Yep.
So I was the oldest. It was just me, my mom, and my little brother, and I assumed the role of man of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. And how old were you about then?
13,
15,
13,
13,
14.
14.
Definitely.
You graduated high school in 1995.
hmm
What do you do next?
I go to Temple and fuck up for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't go. I don't. I had the brilliant plan. So sorry. So all right. I take 5 classes. I take Italian, criminal justice, anthropology, a music class that I placed out of, and I basically didn't show up to, and math, some type of math. As so I don't go to very many classes. College wasn't for me at the time.
Yeah.
And I had this plan. I'm like, all right, so maybe I'll just withdraw all my classes.
Yeah.
And by the time I got around to it, it was already December. I didn't know that you can't withdraw that late.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going into January with an 0.0.
Oh boy.
And I still got these fresh ASVAB scores from when the recruiter came
Right. Yeah.
to get.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I'm not mature enough right now.
Yeah.
Although I'm not saying that, I'm acting that out. I'm
Right.
not mature enough right now because I want to play basketball in McGonigal and McPherson all the time, and play Mortal Kombat in the Student Activity Center. So I'm not ready for college right now. So let me just swear the rest of my life, well, the next few years of my life away with Uncle Sam because that's much smarter.
Yeah, right.
If that
So,
makes sense.
so you go into the military?
Go right into the military,
What branch?
Army,
And
regular Army.
what was your job?
I was a supply. All right, so PLL clerk, 92 Alpha, automated logistical specialist. So I go to the recruiter, and he got me. He got me good.
Yeah.
He got me real good. He had a nice powder blue periwinkle, if you want to call it, a Accord V6 coupe with the leather,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying he's all Army and basketball, and yeah, if you come in the Army, you can you can do what I did.
Yeah.
Basketball was my job.
Yeah.
All I did was go from duty station to duty station playing basketball. I'm like, oh, great. I can go have fun. So, bam. Can I learn computers? Because I want to learn computers because I know that's the wave. I know that's coming.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything I wanted to hear because I'm
Yeah.
bright eyed, bushy tailed, 18. And you're the kind of the only option because I got this 0.0 that I'm trying to get away from.
Right.
So I go into this military and it's nothing like what he just told me.
Yeah.
It has I get eventually when I get to my duty station, I will work in front of a computer, but it's data entry,
Right.
not programming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Awful.
did I play basketball? Yeah,
Pickup games.
pickup games.
Yeah.
So you get three choices of where you're going to be.
Yeah.
CONUS, continental United States,
Yeah.
and one choice of duty station, OCONUS,
Yeah.
outside of the continental United States. So I said California, Florida,
Uh-huh.
and somewhere else on on the West Coast. And for my three choices of duty station in the Continental, and my overseas choice was Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, why do they even do that if they're going to put you in Virginia and
So it wasn't, you got none of your choices?
none of the choices? So, like, I went to basic in Fort Jackson, South Carolina,
Yeah.
which is like right outside of Columbia. It was super hot. April 24th, 96 is when I spent that first long day.
Yeah.
At my first long day in the military, it started at Broad Street at 4:20 in the morning, and it ended in South Carolina. Freeze. I mean, burning up, humid,
Yeah.
humidity like I've never felt.
Yeah.
24 hours later, no sleep,
Oh,
no
wow.
sleep whatsoever, no sleep whatsoever. And that's where everything started right there, South Carolina. So, South Carolina I spent 2 months there, went to Fort Lee, Virginia, which is Richmond, basically.
Yeah.
And then after that, my regular, that's AIT. So I learned my job
In Virginia.
in Virginia. And then they send me to Fort Stewart, Georgia, which is Hinesville, 40 miles out of Savannah.
How long did you stay there?
2 years.
2 years. Did
Yeah.
you do 4 years total? Or how?
2.5 active, a year and a half inactive. So the inactive side is the reserve side.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So you did 4 years total,
Yeah. And then you owe an 8 year obligation. So the other, it was just all inactive.
all inactive.
Hmm.
You didn't do any tours overseas or anything like that.
I went to Egypt, but
Okay.
and hung out there for about 45 days and then came back.
What's your overall experience with the military? What would you say to anybody to ask?
You learn yourself. You get to learn. I say that all the time. I learned myself and I learned my limits and my parameters. And I've learned that you can always expand your limits. Whatever you think you are capable of, you are capable of way more,
Yeah.
way more.
Are you thankful for that experience?
I'm thankful because I met somebody that I had children with
Yeah.
and that changed my life, as well as the experience as a whole. It gave me confidence. If I can make it through that, if
Yeah.
I can make it through basic
Yeah.
AIT and the time in the military and the things that they had me do in there
Yeah.
and endure, I can deal with it and take anything.
Would you recommend it for like a young kid that doesn't have direction?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It'll help you with that. You think?
Yeah, I mean, it'll give you structure.
Right.
It'll definitely give you structure. It'll teach you routine, but it'll tell you, it'll show you exactly who you are.
Yeah.
It will mirror who you are.
Right.
So if you're lazy, it's gonna show you that you're lazy, and you're gonna have to do something real time to correct that.
Yeah.
And like nobody's waiting for you, but you have to pull yourself up.
Right.
Nobody's gonna pull you. You have to man up and just grow up
So
quickly.
you get out of like active or like the active part of your duty. You are how old? 22, 23?
21.
Okay.
I had my daughter when I was 22. So
Gotcha.
yeah, 21.
And all right, so then let's talk about like the next, up until the next few years. What's going on after that?
What's going on is I come home, go to business school, try to learn some more computer programming, and in that time, I get mm, someone pregnant,
Yeah.
and she is in school. She is doing very well in school, so I leave Philly to go down to Georgia again,
Yeah.
and I'm stay-at-home dad while she goes to school and finishes school. Yeah, so I learned how to be a dad quickly. I'm parting hair.
Yeah.
I'm putting ballies in hair and
Yeah.
changing diapers and potty training, watching Sally Jesse Raphael. There's no cable. I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to get this together.
Yeah.
And then in the midst of all that, 9/11 happens.
Right.
So 9/11 has never happened before.
Right.
So we just get scared. And here's the thing. We're both from Philly, but we met in Georgia.
Okay.
So I was in the military and she was in college, but we just met.
Yeah.
So but our bases are in Philly.
Right.
So we just decide like we don't know. We don't know if the world's coming to the end, but we know life is changing. So let's move back home.
Gotcha.
So we come back to Philly, and then she starts her career, and I start working at Fridays and start figuring it out from there.
Yeah. And then your second daughter comes when?
She comes a few years later, so she's about 8 years behind her sister.
Okay.
So I'm further. I'm doing good in my career. My wife's doing good in her career at that point.
Yeah.
So things are looking up.
Right.
Things are definitely looking up. But the way my youngest came into this world was kind of different. So I'll go into it if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So me and her mother go for a regular prenatal visit
Yeah.
to the hospital, and where the appointment is for 11. So we're in there chilling and going through the motions that you do with the prenatal visits. They're asking the questions: are you taking the vitamins, and what are you doing, and this and this and this and that. All right, and so we go through that part of the appointment. Then they say, all right, so let's take a look at you. Let's do some tests and things like that. So they go through that, and then they like put some type of monitor on her and listen to my daughter's heartbeat.
Yeah.
And they heard something that was a little irregular. So they were saying, you know what? We want you to hang out for a few hours. And if things change, we'll keep you. If everything is okay, we'll just send you home. So it's 7:30 at night. We're sitting there watching Martin, laughing, cracking up. And then all of a sudden, because we could, like, they put a monitor on that we could actually hear. So we could hear it in the room, and they heard it in the nurse's station. And I'm hearing it, but I don't know what I'm listening to, but I hear something kind of weird too.
Right.
And then a few seconds later, the nurses come into the room, and their eyes are just huge.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, we got to get this baby out of you.
Wow.
We got to get this baby out of you. Mind you, we're just there for the 31-week visit.
Yeah.
So, long story short, by a few hours later, now it's 12:30 at night, and they have to do a C-section,
Yep.
and they cross cut her. So I cannot be in the room because it's not a delivery; it's an operation. So I cannot be in the room for that, and I'm fighting, not
Yeah.
physically, but I'm verbally like, yo, I need to be in there. What if something happened? I'm panicking, doing all that stuff, and then Uh, at the end of the day, I could not go in there,
Right.
but I just pray. I make some phone calls. I talk to Daddy, Daddy
Yeah.
being God, and then some type of peace comes over me. And then after that, the the doctor comes out and says, "Your daughter is feisty." I'm like, so that means she's here.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, let's
Right.
go.
Right. Right.
Talk to me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And was that foreshadowing? Yes,
right.
because that is who she is. I'm not saying she is the Tasmanian devil. That's not her. But no, but she is vivacious.
Yeah.
She's an honor roll student,
Yeah.
National Honor Society. She is amazing and she has nothing but vigor and she's aggressive
Yeah.
in a nice way,
Great.
in
Yeah.
a ladylike way.
Right. Yeah. There's you don't get anything by standing on the wall and being quiet.
Nah, closed mouth don't get fed.
That's right. Talk to me about being a father of two daughters.
Oh man, in this day and age, it's rough, but I'm pretty sure it's probably been rough throughout time.
Yeah.
But now that you add technology and all of this information that they have access to, oh man, it's scary. But I pour, and her mom pours into her every day. So I've always been hands on.
Yeah.
So they are turning out to be beautiful, intelligent, graceful, amazing young ladies. I've had my scares where boys have been concerned, but they've always been making the right decisions when it comes to that because they don't want the boys to deal with my wrath, and they I know they don't want to hear my mouth.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, among other things.
What
Yeah,
what scares you the most about being a father? Anything?
not being able to be with them to protect them at all times.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they can have my words to guide them, but that can guide them in their actions. But my physical presence is not going to be always be there to protect them in situations that may require my physicality.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that is I think that it would be worse for me with if I had daughters, but I have two sons.
Hmm.
But it's the same. It's the same kind of fear
Hmm.
that I won't be able to be there to figure it out for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're teaching them. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to it's hard to I say that, but I don't know if I always believe it.
I mean, we have to believe it.
You have to believe it. Yeah.
We have to believe it. We have to believe it. You got to believe that you'll put them in good positions
Yeah.
and equip them with the right information that God forbid something happens, they will have it drilled into them and it'll just draw on it like muscle memory and it'll just come out.
Yeah. Your oldest daughter is how old?
24.
And your youngest is what, a senior?
No, 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 freshman.
Oh, freshman.
She's
She's younger, right?
8 behind.
Okay. I thought she was older
Mm,
than my older
mm.
son. She's younger.
Jazz will be 24. She's 23.
23
Yeah,
and a freshman in high school.
yeah, 23 and 15.
So talk to me about what's life like right now. What's going on?
With the girls,
Yeah, with the girls.
I mean, the oldest, she's trying to finish up school. She's doing a great job. She's doing a great job. She got great grades too.
Yeah.
So she's balancing being a young adult,
Yeah.
paying her own car note
Yeah.
and insurance,
Yeah.
working to pay that car note
Yeah.
and insurance, and finishing up school. I used to be scared for her,
Yeah.
but no, she got everything under control.
Good.
She got
That's awesome.
everything under control. She finally figured out how to juggle and manage life.
Yeah. And the
Hmm.
little one, what's going on with her?
She got everything under control. She's good.
Yeah.
She she has a bunny now,
Yeah.
and she loves her bunny. She sends me pictures every single day,
Yeah.
updates every single day. So she's taking care of, and I think it's helping her mature too because she has to care for another life.
Right.
So it's making her step up,
Yeah.
and I love that.
How about you? Where you at?
Me, I'm good. Never better. My mind is clear. I'm locked in. I'm focused. Loving my job. This is the first job that I've had in life that I do not mind coming to work. I actually like coming to work,
Yeah.
and I'm just in a good place right now,
Good.
mentally. Hmm.
Good. So what's the plan for the next 5 or 10 years?
Next 5 or 10 years, make the most money that is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Gotta go into retirement, right? These next 20 years
Yeah.
determine the 20 after retirement at 65. So gotta make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And with that said, I'm endeavoring into my creative side to do outside of my 9 to 5.
Yeah. So talk to me about your 9 to 5. Just tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
So I'm a risk management coordinator for a casino, and my job is to basically make sure everyone is safe that comes into the building, whether they're a team member or a guest or they work there. It doesn't matter. Whoever comes into the building, it's my job to make sure that they leave in the same way that they came. I'm not in security. I'm not in surveillance. But I want to make sure that everybody leaves the way that they came and keep the casino from getting sued.
Yeah, but you're really responsible for coordinating all those departments. And
Basically.
yeah, is it a challenge, Bill?
Uh, it was in the beginning,
Yeah.
but it gets easier over time because I play chess. I love chess, so
Yeah.
it's just one. I just have to look at it as a game.
Yeah.
It's a game with a lot of juggling and a lot of balancing.
All right, let's talk about some advice you might give to others.
Listen to people.
Okay.
Listen more. Talk less.
How about advice you might give to 18-year-old version of you?
Be assertive.
Yeah.
Be assertive. Take control. Be more active. Don't be passive. Don't go with the flow as much. Don't put the target on your back all the time, speaking up for the right thing because
Yeah.
everybody isn't going to follow you. So just lead by example
Yeah.
and then let them follow you that way.
Talk to me about that, about speaking up on behalf of other people that won't necessarily support that. I feel like that's what I'm hearing a little bit.
I worked I was a cable guy for a while
Yeah.
and I spoke up a lot. I spoke truth to power all the time.
Yeah.
And it every time I would turn around to see if there was anybody behind me, it was just my voice. So
Yeah.
people would echo what we're saying in the locker room,
Yep.
but when we're in that meeting
Yep.
with the bosses and the people that need to hear it, it's not that they didn't encourage us speaking freely because they actually did, but everybody would just always be quiet and it would just be my voice and then the target would end up on my back. And this, I'm like, that's not what I'm here for because I just want us all to get along and the conditions to get better so everybody can operate better.
Yeah.
But it just did not quite work like that.
Yeah. Keyboard courage, I call it. The people that had the keyboard courage, right? This is
Yeah.
what you see on social media all the time is the keyboard warriors. Although I am a keyboard warrior, I love it. But but yeah, it's the people that'll talk in the back room, and then when push comes to shove,
Hmm.
they worry more about their job, and I get it, but
I'm worried about my job too, but like
yeah,
there's there's a way to say things. You can still deliver the same
yeah,
messaging. You can still be the disgruntled worker without coming off disgruntled. You can
right,
still voice and air your opinion without being that way. And we can do this as a unit. And
yeah,
on top of it, the place where I worked was the only union shop in the cable. I'm not going to put the name out there,
yeah, yeah,
but it was the only union shop. So they frowned upon having unions and people that spoke up. So
yeah,
that guy got smacked around a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
And I got tired of getting smacked around. I'm like, so you know what? I'm just going to fade to the background and I'm just going to come to work and just do my 8 and go home
right,
because I'm not getting paid anymore by speaking up.
right,
And all I'm doing is getting a target putting on my back. So it was not a problem.
right,
I had to learn how to play the game.
yeah,
So that was my 20s. That was my fiery 20s. So as you progress from being the cable guy to going into car sales, and so I'm still customer facing.
yeah,
I'm still kind of putting out fires,
yeah,
but at the same time, it's a performance environment, and you have to go hunting every single day. So in car sales, being the vocal leader is not going to help you in there either because
ever,
nobody cares.
right.
Nobody
It's
cares.
all about the bottom line.
At the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line and what I can do for myself.
Yeah. How about new parents? Any advice for new parents?
Ge- Teamwork, teamwork, communication, and make sure you stagger those sleep schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because you can't forget what got you here.
Yep.
What the 1 plus 1 that made the one.
Right.
So you can't forget that time that you had together, and you definitely have to make time. Date nights,
Yep.
movie nights, unpacking things. I'm not talking about those boxes. I'm talking about conversations, the tough conversations. You got to have them. Got to
Yep.
have them.
How about new bosses? Any advice for new bosses in the world?
New bosses, pay attention. Pay attention. Read and talk to young people. Talk to young people and pay attention to what the young people are wanting, because the young people are, they're going to drive your business. They're going to be the lifeblood of your business. I don't 9 times out of 10, uh, the young people are the reason that you are in business.
Yep.
So listen to your customers,
Yep.
listen to your workers, listen to your customers, um, and don't be cheap. Don't be cheap on supplies, marketing. That's neither here nor there. But don't be cheap on your supplies, and don't be cheap on your labor. You'll get what you pay for. So it's
Yeah.
price versus cost. So you don't want to cost yourself business being cheap.
How about young workers?
Pay attention to the older workers. Pay attention to the people that have been there for a while. Learn from everybody, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and don't complain. Just work hard. Come to your job. Keep your head down. Don't come to make friends. Come to make your money. Stand out. Learn the job. Learn the craft. Make yourself indispensable.
How about young husbands or young men in relationships with women?
Be honest. Always be honest. Be yourself and be honest. And she'll follow you. She'll respect you and she'll follow you.
What would 18-year-old version of Bill think of the 45, 46-year-old version of Bill? What would he think?
Bro, what did you do to my stomach? Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that,
What
buddy.
did you do? That 6 pack is gone.
Uh, it's so fucking hard. I've been chubby all my life, but it's so hard. Oh God, I used to be able to lose weight, and I just can't do it anymore.
Can't.
What's the best advice you ever got?
Be careful who you rent space to in your head.
Yeah,
My dad said that.
great advice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Steph, uh, Stephanie, who I recently interviewed, said something similar to that. It's great advice.
It is. It is.
It's advice that I still need and that I still suffer from. I let people rent space into my head all the time. I do.
Well,
You know this because we haven't really talked about it, but we work together.
you do.
We do. And Bill has been kind enough to me. I had a little bit of a struggle over the summer in particular. I took extra responsibilities on at work
Mm,
with some promises that were made to me that were broken eventually. And I was and I was speaking truth to power and people weren't listening to me.
mm.
And it was very, very frustrating time for me.
Ooh.
Probably the most frustrating time in my career. And I've had a lot of frustrating times. So, but
Hmm.
during that time, he reminded me that something that I had told him several times is at least we're not shoveling shit.
Things could be worse.
Things could be always be worse. You know, you're not shoveling shit. So, um, and it's a good job, ultimately a very good job, and I like it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have allowed people to rent space in my head free of charge many times.
Free of charge, but not free of charge because it costs.
Right.
It does cost.
Yeah, it costs you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the only person that costs.
Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about us
No.
while we're thinking about them. The question you asked me about the greatest advice I got
Yeah.
is here's the craziest part about that. I didn't get that advice directly from him.
Yeah.
I got it from my daughter. I mean, from his daughter, my sister, the one we share the birthday.
Yeah.
After he passed away,
Oh, really?
she shared, like, we were just having a talk about dad moment,
Yeah.
and she said, "You know what Dad used to always say to me?" I'm like, "What?" Be careful who you rent space to in your head,
Yeah.
and it hit me like a ton of bricks. It because I had a few things going on in my life at the time,
Yeah.
and I was kind of preoccupied and with those, and it just hit at the right time,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow, he gave you that. He never gave me that.
How long has he been gone for?
He's been going for about 7 years now.
7 years.
Hmm.
Talk to me about losing him and how that made.
That was my first hero. That was it hurt. It definitely hurt. So when I was younger, he taught me. He gave me my foundation. He gave me work advice before I was 10. I don't think he did it on purpose,
Yeah.
but he just came home venting and frustrated one day and
Yeah.
just gave it to me.
Yeah.
But I held on to some of the words that he said that day, and then he would teach me how to. We would slap tap in the house, and he showed taught me how to hold my hands and taught me how to fight, and he showed me some tricks, and I've used them, and I've only lost one fight in this life,
Yeah.
and I've won a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then we threw the football around in the house, and I got good hands in the house. So, and because of that, I was able to play football outside of the house and got a lot of respect because I was good in football. So, like, he gave me a good solid foundation. So when he passed later in life, I was kind of hurt. I was kind of hurt. Like, our relationship had changed,
Yeah.
like, because when he left the home, and I was a man. I was calling myself the man with no job, but I was just a man in title, but
Right.
not in actual deed. I had a conversation with him one day, and it just went in a direction that it should not have, from adult to child. And ever since then, like, we had a fractured relationship,
Yeah.
but he'd never given up trying to reconnect. It was me
Yeah.
that was very resistant to it.
Yeah.
But when eventually after I had children, and I started to see things from his perspective as a parent now,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, how would I feel if my children felt about me and dealt with me the way
Yeah.
I feel with him? And so, by me being mindful of that, we got a better relationship. And then when he got hit by a car,
Jeez. Yeah.
and he had already had some medical complications going on with him, he never made it out of a coma.
Yeah.
And I just saw him in that hospital, and it just hurt. And I just talked to him and talked to him and talked to him, and he never came out. And it seemed like he was responding, and we would get good reports. Then they was like, nah, he's just not going to make it. What do you guys want to do? And I didn't have power of attorney, but I mean, I wanted to keep him here. And,
Yeah.
but it's unfair. Like, he got to go. And
Yeah.
so the decision was made. And when he left, I was hurt. I was devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard because it's finality.
Yeah.
And I never. He did give me his blessing maybe a year or so before he passed. He said used to call me Bo all the time. I don't know where Bo comes from,
Yeah.
but he called me Bo. He's like, Bo, I'm proud of you. I see the way you've done things. It's not the way that I would have done it, but you did it your way, and I'm proud of you.
It's nice.
And when he gave me that, I was good.
Yeah. That's good. It's
Hmm.
nice. I never had that particular conversation with my dad, although I didn't know that he felt that way. But
Hmm.
he just wasn't somebody who could ever vocalize that at all.
Hmm.
But we had, I mean, my dad was always in my life, and for better, for better or worse.
For better or worse.
But but yeah, I mean, we had a interesting and difficult relationship, and
Hmm.
I was hard on my dad. I was probably a little bit too hard,
Me too.
and the same thing I felt is there's a lot of things that I forgive and feel a little bit bad for once I became a parent, and I could see how difficult that is,
Hmm.
especially being, my parents were 19 years old when they had me, so you're a teenager, you don't have any, really knowledge of how to be a parent. So,
Not at all.
but they're all also on the other side. There's some things that I'll never be able to wrap my head around, the things that he let happen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, you just take it and as lessons. That's the way I look at it. It's a lesson learned. I learned from his life, and he did always say to me, just, if you don't like the way I did it, just do it better. Be
Right.
be better than me. So
There we go. Sage advice. And I learned that at a young age. I think it was self-taught. I've always said it too. I don't want to learn from my mistakes. I want to learn from somebody else's
yeah, right.
mistakes.
Yeah. Don't you don't have to make them again. Somebody else made them for you.
Somebody made it for you.
How about what person was most impactful to you in your life?
I would say the mother of my children. She held up the mirror to me a lot, taught me a lot about life and a lot about myself. Good, bad, and whatever. It just I grew as a person. I became a father because of her. Became a husband because of her. I went from having jobs to getting a career because of her. So like I stepped my game up because of her, and I learned a lot about myself and became a man because of her.
Any event, one event that you could think is most impactful to you?
I would go childhood trauma.
Yeah, I mean anything. Yeah, maybe childhood trauma, right?
Oh no,
Anything.
no, no, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
planting my flag there.
yeah.
I'm not gonna expand on it,
Okay.
and we want to go from there.
Yeah.
I just we're gonna say childhood trauma. Yeah,
Okay. And it just not to get into the trauma, but how did it impact you? Is it the way you interact with people?
family and in general, people, but family and more specifically, I saw some things and experienced things as a child and observed other contemporaries like my friends their childhoods, and just these things are not going to be happening in my house.
Yeah.
They're not going to happen in my family,
Yep.
in my relationship with my woman,
Yep.
my children,
Yep.
and overall these things are just not going to happen, and this is what I want to happen.
Yeah. So is it made it very clear at a young age of how you were not going to live?
Teens.
Okay.
In the teens, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I had a lot of those experiences. You know,
Hmm.
I knew what I didn't want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't necessarily knew what I wanted to be, but I knew what I didn't want to
I
be.
know what I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still not sure what I want to
Well, I mean, we in the second half now.
be. Yeah, we got to figure it out soon.
Gotta start putting something on the that little metal board
Yeah.
with the magnet.
What's it like being your child? What did the girls say? What would the girls say about you?
Everything is in a teaching moment. No matter what's going on, I feel like I have to say something to they can take a lesson from,
Uh huh.
because I'm not always going to be here. I'm not
Yeah.
always going to be around, but you will have my words and my instruction.
Yeah.
So I feel like every moment is potentially a teaching moment, because that's what life is life is learning,
Yeah.
and why not get the lesson?
And they get annoyed by that sometimes, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my
Yes.
kids do too. I've told my kids a million times because, I've said this probably to you at work and on this podcast. And I didn't get a whole lot of advice. I had a lot of men in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but a whole lot of men that were insecure about their own self worth.
Mm-hmm.
So their advice was, "Don't be like me," and that's not advice.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It is to a degree, but I have to work all that. What does that mean,
Yes.
right? But so my kids get advice when they don't want it, and they get it all the time, and that's where it comes from me. Is that not necessarily that I'm not going to be here, but I'm going to give you everything that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
or that I thought I wanted. I don't know. I'm thick headed, so I probably wouldn't have took the fucking advice anyway. But
Yeah, no, you
who
may
know?
not have taken it, but it may have taken root,
Right?
and so life would have watered it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it'll sprout later.
So, what do you think it's like being your boss?
Probably challenging. Probably challenging, because I have ideas and I'm vocal.
Yeah,
I open my mouth,
yeah,
and I don't know. I mean, I'm the most evolved version of myself today,
yeah,
and I'm not in. You probably got it. Hopefully, I think you got it easier
yeah,
today. My boss has it easier today than in years
yeah,
past, because I was very combative,
yeah,
vocal, and always had to fight the good fight,
yeah.
fist in the air. And I've always been that person. Always been that person. Just challenge, 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 challenge.
So, let me say it from your actual boss's perspective, is I don't find you challenging in one ounce. I do think that there's some people that probably would be challenged by the fact that you are a smart, opinionated individual with passion,
Hmm.
but I don't have you. Like you came into me with something the other day that you were very passionate about. We won't talk about it here,
Right.
but I appreciate. Listen, I appreciate that anybody shows up to work and actually wants to do a good job and cares
Hmm.
about what happens there. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I everything I ask you to do, you do.
Wow.
You and everything that I ask you to do, you don't only do, but you try to do it the best you can, and you bring your own ideas to it and try to make it better than what I thought it would be. I don't know what else you could ask for an employee.
Wow. Thank you.
Um, so that's the way I feel about it. Again, but I mean, I feel like I'm the same type of employee.
Hmm.
So people have challenge. Have you have seen I've been a challenge to people because I'm not just going to say yes. And and you don't just say yes to me all the time. And, we disagree sometimes, and we don't haven't really disagreed much. But
Got good ideas.
yeah, on implementation, I've said to you in the past, yeah, we gotta hold off on that. I right, I mean, right. I said I agree with you, but I can't fight that battle right now.
Man, that email that I sent, I'm glad I had you take a look at it and
Yeah,
you curated that before I was going to, because
yeah.
I wanted to fire somebody up and it probably would have ended up in me being fired.
No, yeah, yeah. No, it wouldn't have been that drastic. But hey,
Well,
listen,
not drastic, but
yeah,
target.
yeah. We all need somebody to help us take a step back once in a while. But I appreciate you. Just so you know, I don't find you challenging. I just want you to keep showing up. That's all.
Cool. Listen, I'm there. Thank you.
I need some stories.
Oh man, I'm not the greatest storyteller, man.
How about an embarrassing drunk or high story, Annie?
Ah, in the military, never smoked. I already spoke to that. And Titanic just came out.
Yeah,
So we're off post and we're watching the Titanic. Order some food. It's some women around, there's some guys around, and we're there. And the only name that I remember was this guy named Sosa. Sosa had the weed.
yeah, he did.
Sosa was from Cali.
Yep.
So he had the weed, and they was like, "Yo, let's smoke." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm all scary because I'm like, I ain't never smoked before, and I'm definitely thinking they're going to piss test us at. 'Cause we in the military, we can't smoke,
Right.
but I guess I'm in there with some. I guess no pun intended. I'm in there with some veterans
Yeah.
because I guess they knew better.
Yeah.
So Sosa had the weed. We start smoking. I'm eating as much pizza as I've ever eaten in my life. I've never eaten this pizza was so good, and we were down south. I know this pizza was probably trash in real life,
Right. But you loved it.
but because I was high, and this is my first high.
Yeah.
So now we're in hour two where it really hits the fan in Titanic.
Yeah.
Water starting to come aboard.
Yeah.
Rose is walking around on board, and Jack is tied up. Well, he's handcuffed in the room that's filling up with water,
Yeah.
and I'm in that room with him.
You're all paranoid.
I'm paranoid. I'm about to die. I'm seeing the water coming down. I'm like, yo, I'm really about to die. And they in there cracking up.
Were you in the movie theater?
I was not in the movie theater. We were in the trailer. And you know what? Coincidentally, we're gonna tie it all together because it's all coming back to me now. This is this just so happens to be my shit story too.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Thank God.
I disappear into the bathroom
Yeah.
and I'm just in there and I can't get it together. I cannot get it together. I go and it's runny and none of it hits the toilet.
Oh, God.
None of it, none of it, none of it. And I'm just in there for a while because I'm just embarrassed now. Like it's flooded outside with the water from the Titanic.
You can't go out there.
And I
You're
can't
gonna drown.
I'm gonna and I'm in a shitstorm in here. Like
So did you get it all over your pants and shit everywhere?
floor, pants,
Oh.
all of the above. Needless to say, I was never invited back over. Ever.
Oh. Wait. How did you walk out of there? Was it just
Eh,
on your pants?
Um,
Did you wipe up a little bit?
I did as much maintenance as I could, but like
It was obvious.
it was definitely obvious. It
Oh
was
god.
definitely obvious. I didn't get my pizza to go or none of that. It was just,
Oh, you just jet it.
oh yeah, I left.
Um,
Yeah, I definitely left.
you swam. You swam.
No, all right, so all right, I drove home. I had just learned how to drive stick because my roommate he got deployed. He had
Yeah.
got deployed, so he left me his keys to his car. I'm like, yo, well, I don't drive stick. He was like, teach yourself, and just
Right.
gave me the keys. So I'm struggling driving home, shitty, like, and just I'm a shitty driver all around. It was just not bad. I mean, just not good.
Just bit. How about a well, we got our shit story. So how about a pee puke or fart story?
Disney. This is probably the day before we go home, and we're just going to do a resort day today because
Yeah.
we did a million miles of walking. We did all that. So now I'm like, listen, I'm not doing nothing but chilling by the pool and drinking today. I got a big Chick-fil-A cup of sweet tea from that morning's breakfast.
Yeah.
And once I emptied that, I filled it with Amsterdam, all vodka. Destroys that. I go to the bar, get some food from the bar, and ate that food. Got a couple hurricanes while I was there. So now that's 32 ounces of what I had
Yeah.
and the weak bar drinks, but that's all happening.
Right.
So in the meantime, 6 hours pass. I don't know that 6 hours pass
Mm-hmm.
while I'm consuming all of that
Right.
in the heat. So somebody comes up with the great idea, my wife, let's get some Carrabba's. I said, all right, no problem.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Get me a chicken trio.
Yeah.
So they go to Carrabba's. I did not make the trip to Carrabba's. I never made it out of the bathroom. So, but it was to go. So
Right.
they go to pick it up and come back. And mind you, by the time they come back, I'm I'm in the bathroom. I still never make it out of the bathroom, but everything that was in my stomach was on the floor with me.
Yeah.
All of that. So she was the first one to notice and come back. And she was like, she went to go tell the girls when she slammed the door right behind her. Yeah, daddy's not feeling good right now. He just go
He's gonna
he's just go
he's gonna miss dinner.
he's gonna miss dinner. And I felt so bad because she had to clean up so much. So much. I'm like, you must really love me. Because she cleaned all of that up, cleaned me up, somehow got me to the bed. I woke up a few hours later and everybody was full, but my Carrabba's was there.
Oh, that
But
was nice of them.
yeah, that was nice of them. I mean, I paid for it anyway, in more ways than one. But yeah, like I just totally missed the last day of vacation. The last day of vacation missed 90% of it because I did get a few activities in
Later.
no
Oh,
while
early.
I was drinking.
Right. Right.
Definitely while I was drinking.
All right. I got 20 questions for you. You ready for them?
How do I answer them? Are we one word answers?
No, no. However you want to answer them, whatever comes to your mind. All right. First question. It's the Angry Day podcast. I'm a very angry little man. What makes you angry?
Subaru drivers. That's easy. See, being boxed in on the expressway, road
Uh,
rage, potholes,
yeah.
just driving in Philly.
Dude, I drove back from Jersey yesterday. I was caught behind this dude who was going 67 in the left hand lane. And then I finally get by him, and I'm not even going that fast, but I'm going like 74, right? Like
Hmm.
my 9 miles an hour above the speed limit thing that
Exactly.
I do.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, he comes up with, I'm in the right hand lane now. I get past him, and now all of a sudden he's doing like 73 and a half.
Oh, so he's being a jerk now.
No, yeah, no, because I don't think he's even being a jerk. I just think he's a fucking jerk off. Like, you know what I mean? Like now he has to catch up.
So, oh, okay. So he's pacing you now then.
Yeah, now he's pacing me. Yeah,
Get out of
prick.
there. Yeah. Yeah. So he's just totally unaware. What was he in a Subaru?
Yeah, yes, he has to be.
Forester. Definitely in a Forester.
Forrester.
Some nut ass legacy. I tell you, the same person drives all of them. They all drive slow. They own the road and they're
Uh,
all in the wrong lane.
um, fuck them.
They want to drive the same speed as the person riding next to you too, and
Yeah.
box you right on in.
Yeah, my wife's a little bit of like that. She's like, "Well, I'm going higher than the speed limit, or get the fuck over. Like, get out of the way."
How about you take the streets? You're not in a rush.
Right, right,
Just get off the expressway. Leave that to us.
right. We're in a rush.
We all left late, and we're all in a rush. We're all impatient.
Just get out of the
Yes,
fucking way.
yes, yes. Don't even get on expressway.
What makes you happy?
I love life.
Yeah,
I enjoy life. I have a great sense of humor. I love laughing. I love hearing people laugh, and I love my family
yeah.
to death, especially my girls.
What one thing would you change about the world if you could?
Uh, I would take selfishness out of the world. Everybody would serve somebody else or something or somebody else. You would just it would be more service in this world,
Yeah,
and not transactional service, just more altruistic out of
yeah.
the kindness of your heart
Doing it because it's the right thing to do.
because it's the right thing to do.
What would you change about yourself? One thing. Anything?
Yeah, procrastination. I would take that off the table because I would have accomplished a whole lot more by now.
I like to procrastinate. What thing would you? Any one thing you would change about the way your life went?
Um, no,
Yeah,
no, not at all, because I'm not at my destination. So everything that I've been through, all of that matters.
yeah,
Every single encounter that I can remember, every lesson that I can remember, every piece of
yeah.
word, every word that I can remember, it all matters. And so it's all a part of the journey.
The butterfly effect.
There we go.
Yeah, I believe in it too.
Hmm.
Any tattoos or scars that tell a story?
I do not have one tattoo. That's going to change soon. I have scars on both hands, and they're both from football. And I haven't made a dime off of football, so that's just weird.
Yeah. Yo, if you want to get a tattoo, I'll go with you and do it.
Hey,
I want to get like a fucking big ass thing. I don't really. I have one tattoo on my ankle.
hmm,
I got it when I was 18. It's a Japanese thing symbol that means to win.
let's go. I love it.
And some Nazi gave it to me. That's a true story, by the way.
Did you know it was a he or a she?
It was a he. I don't know if he was a Nazi, but I do know he was a white supremacist
Hmm.
because he asked me if I was white. And I'm like, yes, I am white. He said, okay, good. Then it's half price for you. It's a true story that happened at 15th and 15th and Snyder. There used to be a tattoo parlor that later got blown up.
Blown up.
Yeah, he was like a biker. He was like in a biker gang, the dude, and got fucking blown up. And yeah, straight racist. I forgive me, but I took my half price tattoo and I got the fuck out of
Hey, discount.
it. Discount,
Whatever works.
whatever.
Whatever works. I never want to pay full price for anything
Yeah,
anyway.
sorry. Anyway, that's a terrible story.
Nah, it's all good. Did you know that he was
No, not going
he's
in there, and not until he was like ready to fucking put the what's the name. You know, I felt like I
mhm.
honestly felt like I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay, I have my tattoo now.
In some way you kind of supported the cause. So
I did. I know. I owe some penance. Some fuck.
you didn't know.
What's the strangest place you had sex?
Oh, see, I'm kind of whacked there.
Yeah,
There has been no real strange places because it was. I'm not gonna say that it was a pedestrian sex life, but
yeah.
uh, pretty traditional.
All
Just
right.
a car.
You're a nice guy.
Not a nice guy, but
You you don't like getting fucking sand up your crotch.
who does? I hate sand.
Yeah.
Sand gets everywhere. Sand is the worst.
Oh God. All right. How about what is most important to you?
My family,
Yeah.
my family's well-being and their health and their peace of mind.
What is an everyday struggle that you have?
Not blowing up and losing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not, I mean, I hate stupidity. I hate excuses.
Yeah.
I hate weakness, and I hear and see all of that all day, every day, and it's hard to just not just explode.
And and by weakness, what do you explain that to me?
I hate men that make excuses. I
Yeah,
hate excuses. That's just so weak to me. Just
right.
like if there's a problem, just get it done, and or and don't make excuses for why things didn't go a certain way.
Yeah,
No cop outs. Just
yeah. Not physical weakness, mental weakness.
mental weakness.
Yeah,
Just I hate excuses. Like just
get it together.
solve the problem.
Or if you can't, admit it and figure it out.
Admit it and figure out. But be in the process of problem solving.
Yeah. How about your best quality?
I never give up.
Yeah.
I never give up, and I'm always going to try to solve the problem.
What's the most unreasonable thing about you?
Unreasonable.
Yeah.
I'm going to go biblical on this one. Stiff neck, obstinate,
Yeah.
unreasonable. Like it's very. I'm very. You, I can't be sold. You can't close me. So it's hard to convince me of things.
Yeah.
I need life and uh it to resonate. I need life to affirm what I'm thinking, as opposed to your words changing me.
What type of music do you hate?
Oh my gosh, I got a lot of them.
All right. Well, let's talk about them.
The stuff when they're screaming,
Yeah.
the stuff that they do with the mosh pits, that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
type
Like that
music.
death metal shit. And yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yep.
I hate techno.
Oh, techno's bad. Yeah.
I mean, I really hate techno. And the stuff is a certain music that you'll hear. It's like a certain Latin music when that small car pulls up with the bass.
Yeah.
Whatever that music is,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. It's like real fast and like you have to be doing like merengue to it.
It's like, how are we dancing to this?
Yeah. Yeah.
12 seconds in.
12 seconds. How do you feel about trap rap?
Oh my gosh. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it to death. Add that to the mix. A lot of this mumble rap,
Yeah.
this auto tune. I'm starting to turn the corner, and I'm starting to listen to some of these younger, newer artists. My tastes are changing a little bit, and I do have young kids,
Yeah.
and I mean young as in 15 and 23.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that they are listening to, I'm starting to like.
Yeah.
I've been rigid for a very, 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 very long time.
I'm trying. There's some new stuff that I like. It just has to have some kind of like soul to it though.
It does.
You
It
know, it
does.
just has to have like it has to hit me like in the heart. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
It does. I mean, it has to resonate. It has to be in sync.
Yeah.
Got to be congruent with how I feel
Uh,
and how I view.
what annoys you most about others?
Lack of their self awareness.
Yeah.
Lack of self awareness. It could be road. It could be like how they're driving. It could be me walking through Fresh Grocer and them just standing in the middle of the aisle, and I can't get by either way. Like just people not being self aware,
Yeah.
what they're saying, how they're smelling, what they're talking, how loud they're talking, if they're speaking on speakerphone or something. Just common courtesy.
Can we talk about the people that need to have their entire life story out in the public with their fucking phones?
Come on.
Like why do you have to be on speakerphone on the fucking elevator?
Why do I have to hear it? Why is that my business? What happened to private conversation?
You know how many people stand outside my office and have like life changing conversations? Like because I am near the exit door, right? So it's a little bit of a dead man zone,
Yeah.
but there's literally like my office. I'm a director. There's another director's office right next to me, and then a manager's office across. So there's a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
management there, but they stand outside and they're talking about who's fucking who, and they're screaming,
Not aware at all.
not aware at all.
Not aware at all.
Most of the time, at least they're not on speakerphone. But the speakerphone on the elevator, fuck, dude.
First of all, see, here's the thing. Let me get on the elevator. My call drops.
Right. This asshole. And then I love when you walk on the elevator, the person's talking on speakerphone, and they're like, "I'm on the elevator." Like they get all mad, like that you showed up in there. You know what I'm talking about? You've had that
The
happen.
nerd.
The nerve of you being in existence
Why are you here right now and occupying my space while I'm having this ultra private conversation out loud on the speakerphone in the elevator
in public.
in public?
Fucking assholes. If you were arrested, what would your friends and family think happened?
It was only a matter of time. I strangled somebody on some road rage. It was only that's my trigger. That's my weakness.
Yeah. How about if you were a woman for one day, what would you do during that day?
Just for one day.
Just one day. You don't get to rule the world. Couple people said that they would, they whatever they would change, they would rule the world, and I'm like, it's fucking one day, dude. And you got one day.
I would use my feminine wiles to see how far I can go. Lace my bank account.
I love it.
I would see how much I could fleece out of somebody because I know how stupid men are.
They are stupid.
Very stupid. I mean, we're smart.
Yeah.
Carnally, we're stupid though.
No, we're stupid.
Yeah.
That's why strip clubs exist.
Again.
You're not taking her home. She's
Mm-mm.
just going to take your money, and she's
Mhm.
going to smile at you,
Yes.
and maybe rub her titties in your face,
Possibly.
possibly.
Possibly. And if there's a bouncer around, you want to keep your skin to yourself.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, she just put it on me.
I swear, I swear, sir. I swear, very large man. Wasn't my fault.
Look, man, got my hands in my pockets.
What is your most fun but most dangerous quality?
That I will pretty much do anything.
Yeah, at least one time.
Yeah, I really don't have. I mean, I'm never skydiving. I mean, I do have a list of things that I won't do.
Yeah,
I'm not putting my life in danger.
right.
But if it's not life in danger and nobody's going to collect on a life insurance or not collect because I did something dangerous because life insurance companies
Yeah,
they don't pay out on stupidity. I'm fair game.
yeah. I like that. Me too. That's what I said basically. And I'm not afraid of much,
Hmm.
which is scary sometimes.
Yeah, because this is a world of possibilities.
Yeah. Your favorite curse word or most creative curse word that you like to use?
Favorite is fuck. I mean, I don't even get creative. It's just I salt and pepper so much of my thoughts with fuck.
Yeah. Do you like my creative use of curse words? I'm very good at that, don't you think?
You you catch me off guard sometimes, and it's so second nature to you. You don't even know that you slid it in there, and I'm
Uh,
laughing,
right.
and you might be on to a second or third thought, and I'm still there.
You still
So I'm still
you're
there.
still with my turd burglar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, uh,
Case in point.
uh,
Case in point. Yes.
fucking Jip bag. Jip bag is Jip bag and cum guzzler are two of my favorites.
Yeah. So Cum Guzzler I've heard before, but Jitbag was definitely
There's a new one, so
that was frontier.
that's an old school one from my family because my family are very big on cursing.
Hmm.
My uncle John, who's really only he's kind of my big brother. He's 6 years older than me. He's got a lot of them. Jit stain is another one.
Jit stain.
Yeah, cum stain. A lot of stains and bags.
Stains and bags.
Stains and bags. We do a lot of stains and bags. And after talking about jit stains and bags,
Moving on.
here's my next
Let's
question.
go.
When it's all said and done, you reach the pearly gates. What do you want God to say to you?
I didn't think you was gonna make it, but come on in.
Yeah,
Come on in. Cause you was fucking up for a while.
yeah,
But I knew what I put in you. Knew you was gonna make it, but it was rough.
yeah, yeah.
You made it though. Get in here.
And when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered
How I lived, how I served, how I loved, how I made you smile, made you laugh, and maybe hitting a shot or two and killed a lot of people in chess.
for?
Like I want my whole life to be a legacy. I
Yeah,
want all my goods to be remembered, some of my bads, but I know I did way more good than bad.
yeah,
And yeah, I just want to be remembered for just being me. If you can remember me for anything that I've said to you, hopefully it's not nothing cruel. But if it was something cruel, it was from the first half because that first guy was a jerk. an asshole. This guy,
Yeah.
the one that's trying to get,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he speaks better.
What changed it for you? You know, you said you were a jerk early. It was just maturity.
Maturity and becoming self aware,
Yeah.
and just knowing that everybody isn't perfect. Everybody isn't in the same place at the same time. Everybody doesn't have the same
Yeah.
level of maturity, insight, or whatever you want to call it, wisdom. Everybody isn't at the same place at the same time.
They don't.
You ain't perfect.
Yeah, and they don't necessarily mean it. I'm still working on that. The fact that just because they're not self-aware or they are rude or they're doing something that is not necessary,
Hmm.
it's unnecessarily divisive.
Yeah.
All of that stuff isn't necessarily on purpose. It's hard. But it's hard for me. I have a hard time. I am a jerk by nature. I am. I'm still working. I'm still working through that. I'm trying to just let that shit slide more.
And coming to grips with the fact that other people aren't, I mean, just they are the way that they are and they're not intentionally being
Right.
jerks
That's what I mean. Yeah.
is that's hard.
It's hard.
I like when we I don't know what class it was, but I could never get my I think maybe it's algebra. I could and it makes sense when my mom said something to me that resonates with that. I could never understand the irrational equation.
Yeah.
It did not compute to me.
Right.
So when I see people that are oddballs, eccentrics, well, before I got older and became aware that, everybody isn't the same. Everybody wasn't equipped with the same amount of mental faculties and
Right.
they're handicapped people and all of these things. Like there's a whole scale.
Right.
I wasn't always aware of these things. So I judged everybody based on me,
Yeah.
which is totally unfair.
Right. It is
Totally,
unfair.
totally unfair. So having patience and just learning that first of all, you ain't perfect.
Right.
So how can you expect perfection from this person at all times?
Right.
Not cool.
Yeah. And sometimes the things that annoy you the most about other people are a reflection of yourself. Right. The
100%.
the things that you do wrong
Mm-hmm.
and that you're working on, and you see that that person's not working on it, and
What the
then
fuck is wrong with you?
what's the fuck wrong with you? You don't see that you could be an asshole, like I see that I can be an asshole.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, man. I don't have any other questions. You have anything else for me, buddy? I think we're done for now.
All right.
I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for doing it. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
And
I'll be there with bells on.
alright.
Thanks for
And
having me, man. Thanks for considering me, and I really appreciate this.
yeah, man. I hope I'll have you on again. Maybe we'll do some other stuff together on this podcast or something else.
I'm around. I'm here for it.
All right, cool. All right, and to everybody else, until next time, I'm out. Peace.